This is News Today. Now, Deputy Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Emmanuel says construction of transfer stations across Accra will be the key solution to the problem of waste collection. Speaking to Joy News, Emmanuel Ejekum also noted government has initiated the payment process to ensure the Accra compost resumes its operations to address the current sanitation problems in the capital.
Everyone thinks that with the compost plant working, that is the solution to our problem now in Accra. But let me tell you that that is not the solution. It is something that will help us, but then it's not the solution to the current situation in Accra. There has to be another means for us to be able to at least get things to Tema or to a longer distance without having all these challenges. If you look at the whole of Accra, do a critical analysis and ask yourself, can we have a place in Accra at the moment that we can use as a landfill site? And the answer is no. It definitely ought to be outskirts of Accra. So the question is, what do we do? Which the Honorable Minister has put in place actually about 3 or 4 measures which we believe will be able to at least have a solution to all what we are facing now. And if you ask me what that is, I will tell you that we have to go for what we call a transfer station, which the Minister is seriously working on it, to strategically position transfer stations in Accra, whereby at least we can compress waste and take it out to that distance. The dredging system in Accra, which is going to help us. I can also mention building an engineer landfill sites in Accra, 2 in place at the moment. And also, the minister is seriously working on what we call waste segregation, what you asked me of earlier, which is going to add value to waste. Waste shouldn't be the way we should call all these materials, but I rather call it a material in transit. I keep on mentioning it. The reason why I'm advocating the word material in transit is that I want people to know that we can actually add value to what we are throwing out. When we talk about government owing people, government owing service providers, I can tell you that most of even the service providers is not about government or our assemblies owing them. If you look into the contract, most of them are franchise contracts, whereby they do polluter pay system or whereby they're doing other franchise system. There are a whole lot of things that we need to look at. It's not just about compost coming back, not just about compost. And I can assure you that I had a meeting with compost and we are trying to find a way of paying them to make sure they go back to business. It's not just about compost. Compost is not the solution.
The uncollected waste finds the drainage systems and other open spaces as their final destination. We want to look at this over the next few minutes. With me in the studio is Kranche Adam Tete, is manager with a plastic waste management program. Many thanks for joining us here.
Thank you.
We generate up to 1,800, between 1,500 and 800, yet we only collect 1,200.
That is the beginning of the whole problem, because even our research system is not very strong. So even the 1,800 that you are quoting was a figure quoted way back in 2000.
I see.
Yes. So,
I mean, 14 years down the line, it's gone up.
So it's not even a figure that we can rely on. That is the beginning of our problem. So the problem goes down to planning, effective planning. We do not have a very good national system of waste management. The only document that we have as a country, that is a National Environmental and Sanitation Policy, which seeks to give some detailed explanation as to how we are going to manage our waste. If you look at that document, which was published in 2010,
Okay.
If you look at that document and you look at where we are now, you realize that there's a vast difference as to what has been stated on paper and what we are doing. For example, that document says that by 2015, we should at least make an effort to separate about 25% of our waste. As we speak now, there's no national program to do waste separation. So all the waste that we collect goes down to the landfill site. And how sustainable is this? How can you continue dumping all your waste at the landfill site? And for how long can you continue dumping? So we need to do proper planning, and that is the way forward in this waste management issue.
But we have a compost plant. I mean, it's gone on for a while, but it was there. It was a good step.
Yeah, that's a good step. But once again, there are thoughts of they have not been paid, so they are shutting down. You see, if you are doing composting or if you have a compost plant, you have various sectors in the waste stream. For example, you have the plastics, you have the organics. When you separate your waste at the compost plant, what do you do with it? Are you able to turn the organic into compost? Are you able to recycle the plastics into other products? Then again, you have the material in transit where the waste is no more waste, but it's a valuable resource. So for example, if you are recycling your plastics at the compost plant, then you can generate some revenue from there. If you are turning your organic waste into compost, then you can sell to make some money. Then your compost plant can be more sustainable. For example, from what we have developed, the plastic waste management program, what we have developed over the 7-year period was a system of plastic waste collection, which as we speak now, we have generated thousands of employments for Ghanaians. And we are recycling currently over 120 tons of plastic waste in a day. You see, these are things that you need to put in place, and we have to approach this from the national perspective in a more focused way.
Is there anything like we're generating too much waste as a Ghanaian people?
Yes, you see, that is all part of the process. You see, when you go into proper planning in waste management, you are going to look at recycling, you are going to use at reusing, you are going to look at reducing the volumes of waste that you produce. In this sense, there is no any national policy on recycling. There is no national policy on reusing our waste. There is nothing on reducing the waste we use. So that's why I started by saying that this whole thing starts from the top and it's trickling down. And this problem is not the first time. We have experienced the waste contractors saying they are not going to collect the waste for some time. And it comes and then we take money, we give it to them. They start collecting, and then for maybe 1 year, 2 years, then we go back to the same point. So the problem is that we need to actually sit down and draw a program and follow it to the latter. Because if you go to some other places, they are even struggling to reduce the volumes they put to the landfills. And some of them have succeeded in plastics, for example. They have succeeded in putting only 10% of their plastics into landfill. The 90% is recycled. Then it becomes a valuable material. So that is the way to go.
But what's the case here in Ghana?
Yes, from what we are doing, that is from what the plastic waste management program is doing. There is nothing else. And we are only able to recycle 120 tons in a day. That is all we are able to do. And this has succeeded so much that I believe you see them when you pass around. You see people packing the plastics in bags. You see them being transported in trucks. All these are going to the recycling companies to be recycled into other products. So you see, you generate employment for the driver. You generate employment for the collector.
What are some of the products you're able to recycle the plastic?
Yes, you're able to recycle them into slippers, bathroom slippers, into buckets, and into the other black carrier bags, which is also another problem we are also dealing with. So these are the areas we need to do proper planning, and if we do it, we are going to succeed.
If we wanted to plan, especially with reducing the amount of waste we generate as a Ghanaian people, what should that plan be?
Yeah, it's very simple.
I find it impossible to say we want to reduce.
No. It's not impossible.
Okay.
It's very simple. For example, if I go to buy wache, for example, the wache seller first gives you a black carrier bag.
Okay.
Then he puts it into another colorful one. Why shouldn't it be only one carrier bag? If you go to the market to buy,
they call it packaging.
Yes, when you go to the market to buy. You buy onion, they put it in one. You buy tomato, they put it in one. You buy pepper, and in the end, when you go home, you have about 10 pieces of plastic bags that you collected from the market. All these things could be. You see, so we need to, when we have the plan, we can do proper education, we can do proper behavior change, and these things can be better. I can assure you, we have been there. It is very simple. We just have to be focused.
When we look at the waste we generate here in the country, which ones do we generate more, organic or inorganic?
The organic. The fufu, the bangkun, the wache cover, those ones are more.
Then we shouldn't have a problem dealing with it.
At all, madam. That's the point I'm saying. Because if we are doing proper segregation, we don't have a problem. But because we are not focused on following a systematic plan, that's why we are where we are.
I see. And so, right, we want to have a national policy. What should we be tackling?
Yes, for example, the National Environmental Sanitation Policy that was brought in place in 2010 has specific guidelines and specific milestones that are supposed to be achieved within a certain time frame. But we don't follow it. We are just using firefighting measures, ad hoc measures which are not yielding any results.
Right. Okay, so the other thing then is we want to get to the point where we are able to separate our waste. Already we are complaining about how much we pay for waste collection and even having the waste bins.
Yes, that is the point. You see, if you are able to segregate your waste, the one who comes for your organic waste will definitely pay you something for coming for your organic waste because he's going to use it to do compost. That's number one. If we come for your plastic waste, we are going to pay you something because we are going to use the plastic waste to be recycled into other products. So at the end of the day, even if you are able to generate 5 cedis as a household through segregation of your waste, the cost of your disposal will reduce by 50%.
But are there those companies to buy?
Yes, we are doing recycling. That is all we have been promoting for the past 7 years.
Other than that, you know when the waste truck comes, if you pour a bucket of waste, you pay. So if you have 2 buckets and you are pouring, you pay for 2 buckets.
That's what I'm saying. If you are pouring organic, organic man will give you a discount because the waste that he is taking is no more waste. It's a material in transit that will be converted into a compost material. If we come for your plastic, we are going to recycle it into other products. So we'll give you money. And this is not just a rhetoric. We have done it. We have piloted it in certain areas. And we give bags to the households. And then they call us to go and lift the bags. And we pay them. We weigh and pay them. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. Even if they are able to generate 5 cedis, that is being very, very conservative and being very cool on the number. 5 cedis a month can cut the cost of the waste.
Now, here's how the government hopes to deal with the excessive waste we have. Okay, the waste we have that we are not able to collect in the country. We haven't established yet whether it's excessive or not.
Okay.
So it says that it would construct transfer stations across the capital city. Will that work? Does it make sense?
That is another side of it. That is the waste that you cannot recycle or you cannot turn into compost. That is the other way around, because even that one, the traffic system, and so in a more developed system, you have rails that transport the waste from the communities or from the transfer stations to the composting site or to the landfill sites.
Then maybe government is not working well enough with the private sector to do this.
You see, it is not government. It's the whole system, because government may be the president at the Flagstaff House, the minister of local government, but you have the technocrats. The technocrats understand these things. But you see, we need to, and even the technocrats, we are short of waste engineers. And you see, these are the things that the policy, the National Environmental Sanitation Policy, seeks to address. But we are deviated completely from the policy, and we are trying to use firefighting measures, which will not work. Trust me, if we pay the waste contractors and they go and collect 1 year, 2 years down the line, if we don't do the right things, it will happen. Government instituted a levy in 2010 called the ad valorem tax on plastic products, which is related to the polluter pays principle. And that fund alone has generated over 35 million Ghana cedis.
Where is that money?
Yes, so you ask, where is that money? We are not saying that government shouldn't do other things with that money. They could do other things. But the waste problem is also another very serious thing for which the money is being collected. So why don't you then just channel the money there? Because from our own system we have developed in place, we are supporting these plastic waste collectors and we are buying trucks and tricycles for them. And it is working so much, but I don't understand why we cannot get any attention from anybody to just follow this system and let it work.
Right. Thank you very much, Crunchy. Crunchy Adama Tete is manager with the Plastic Waste Management Program. Let's talk politics now. The National Association, or perhaps the National Executive Committee of the New Patriotic Party met Thursday to set a date for electing the party's presidential candidate for 2016 general elections. Now, this will be the maiden meeting after Paul Afoko, the party chairman, Kwabena Japon, the general secretary, took over the administration of the party. The other issues on Thursday's NEC meeting include the appointment of some officers of the party, such as deputies for the positions of General Secretary, National Organizer, Women's Organizer, and National Youth Organizer.
Good afternoon to you. Thanks for staying tuned to the sports segment on News Today, brought to you by the kind courtesy of Cowbell. My name is Baba Tando. Now we are just about 20 days, about 20 days to the World Cup, and a lot of things are happening. I mean, countries are moving camps here and there. Yesterday we brought you the fact that one country was already in Portugal ahead of their preparations, and Ghana itself is also preparing very steadily. Ahead of the World Cup. Of course, we know that we're moving camp to Florida sometime very soon, but before then we'll have 1 or 2 assignments before they finally depart. Remember that the Black Stars started their non-residential campaign on Tuesday with 14 players. I'm sure today's training at 3 p.m. at the Accra Sports Stadium would have a full house, with the exception of Michael Essien and Kevin Prince Boateng, who have sought permission to join the team in Holland for that international friendly. My colleague Benedict Owusu-Dankwa is here, as we'll be doing regularly from now till the World Cup kicks off on June 12th. Benedict, you have monitored the Black Stars training right from from Tuesday down to today. Today is 3 p.m. So what have you gathered so far? Well, you know, on Tuesday when they had their first training session, it was only 14 players that turned out. The likes of Mike Listen, Sule Muntari rather, and the Ayu and Dede. The Ayu brothers, Dede and Jordan, didn't turn up, same as players like Adam Kwarase. But yesterday we had the opportunity, all these players turned out. So we had 23 players turning up for training yesterday. But you know, Daniel Opare was supposed to join them, so at least we get a 24 here. So when they travel to Holland, then we get Kevin Prince Boateng and Mike Listen joining them. But Opare also couldn't make it. We understand that he went to sign for FC Porto, so likely to have Opare this afternoon. So probably maybe by close of today, and their training today is at 3 p.m. So maybe we'll get a full house today. Okay, now they are playing a friendly match, a farewell match with the Dream Team. Have you picked up who and who will make up the Dream Team? Well, the Dream Team probably will be of local players. Local-based players, local-based players. Do you have any idea who can make? I know Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they've got players like Stephen Odro, Michael Ekufu, Jordan Opoku, all making into the team, and also Accra Heart from New Sule will be in there, same as Ruben Nani, and some players also in the lower division teams as well will be making it to play the Black Stars tomorrow. But judging from the training sessions that you've monitored so far, do you think that they are taking this farewell match seriously? Well, this is supposed to be a farewell match. This one is just to show Ghanaians appreciation and their support, and also to wish them goodwill as they travel to Holland and also continue to USA. So it's just going to be an entertainment sort of game at the Accra Stadium. Just want the fans to come there and enjoy what they're going to do. It shouldn't be something really serious. You know, initially when this farewell game came about, people expressed the view about players getting injuries, and you know, the officials, the organizers of this program initially came out to say that it's just going to be a normal game, a game that you just come and entertain yourself. So people should take that thing about players picking up injuries, which could probably worry us in the World Cup. So it's just going to be
just a normal entertaining game at the Accra
So we
Stadium.
shouldn't come
It
and
shouldn't
expect
be so
anything
serious.
So nobody gets injured.
Yes, as in, players trying. So there's not a time to prove that you want to be in the Black Star squad. The squad has already been named. So if you're a local player that you are coming to play, you wait for your time. There's not a time to go and impress Coach Kwesi Appiah. There is no way you make your way into the squad. Maybe the likes of the standby players, but even the standby players will not be playing in this particular game. So I don't see the need why a local player will come into this game and be playing so hard in order to get a call up to the team.
Of course, the standby players. I know Mahatma Otu is still playing.
Yeah, and now he's doing very well.
Very well, scoring
week in, week out.
Come do say has a game against Hartlepool.
No problem. And even I mentioned some Kumasi Asante Kotoko players. The camp of Asante Kotoko, the officials are considering even to pull out to these players because of their game against Hearts. And they also have an FA Cup. Even the Hartlepool game has been shifted to June 1, but now they have an FA Cup game to play just this weekend. Yes, and it's very crucial. They want to win the double after winning the Premier League title yesterday. So it's on course, and it's something that they wouldn't want to skip. So the Asante Kotoko, that's Opokunti, the CEO of the club, I heard him say that they want to just get their players out of the farewell game so that they can concentrate.
I mean, it won't cost much to get them out of the team.
Well, probably each player that will be in that squad, that's the dream team, will earn 500 cedis. So if these players,
they can easily be bought out. Hey, but Kotoko said they are broke, so maybe they can.
But between
imagine you play for Kotoko and you have been named in the dream team, and they say that you are going to play with Hartlepool, and so because of that we need to rest you so you don't get injured and all of that. I mean, how would you feel?
Well, this one is no money. We are not talking about maybe $75,000.
Excuse me, 500 Ghana cedis.
No, I'm saying
money.
No, for these players,
is some money because
I know. But for these players we are talking about
those
here,
who have been invited to be part of the dream team don't earn 500 cedis.
I know, and we are talking about Kumasi Asante Kotoko players. These are players that they earn more than 500 cedis. Between you and I, Kumasi Asante Kotoko players are not paid less than 500 cedis. So if you just skip this 500 cedis and concentrate on an FA Cup game, which probably can land you into something bigger and better, why not?
All right, we'll see about that. But Benedict, quickly, let's talk about Group B ahead of the World Cup. I mean, what do we need to know about them?
Well, Group B, it makes the analysis so easy when you have teams like Holland and Spain. I don't even have to mention the last two teams.
You have to mention them.
No, because you have Spain and Holland. These are teams that at the last World Cup, they went to the final. And judging by the caliber of players they have, definitely you expect to see Spain and Holland go through. At the expense of Chile, yes.
Anyway, Chile is
Mexico is also in there, but I think this
Mexico, I'm sure it's just for Chicharito to come and show what he's got so he can get a new team in case he wants to be Manchester United.
So for me, there is no way.
And then, of course, for Giovanni Dos Santos also.
And especially when Spain and Holland are playing the first game. So you lose,
it will
definitely.
Be decided.
It will just be decided. So for me, Holland, the Netherlands, and Spain will make it through that group.
Benedict, thanks very much. 20 days to the World Cup. We'll be here again tomorrow to do more analysis. But